So now I'm going to drill into the enable layer and talk about what we consider to be one of the fundamental decisions here, which is around the application architecture and how you might tackle it. We see three broad architectures. There's probably five in reality, but I'm going to summarize into three. And this one is where we simply get access to one backend system from a mobile screen. And we don't have complex needs, and we recognize it's a vertical silo coming into one system. And we call that a silo. It's easy, it's cheap, it's fast. The other extreme is we say the organization is going to develop native apps. And sometimes it happens behind our back, sometimes we turn a blind eye, sometimes we do it very deliberately. But different parts of the organization develop different apps with different needs, with different APIs, different architectural frameworks, maybe different pathways to our backend systems. A concept called app rash develops here, and it can get out of control unless it's very well governed. The architecture in the middle is where you put in a platform, an enterprise application platform, that will give access to backend systems in a predefined way and render your apps on any screen, whether it's mobile or tablet or laptop or a touch screen, TV or a kiosk product, and that's called a platform. And looking into that, we think large organizations will have valid needs right across the spectrum. There will be some tasks, and I met one client yesterday who managed to do a Maximo plugin to get access to their Maximo backend, fast, cheap, and easy. It does one thing. It doesn't talk to other systems, but it does one thing. And then others will go out and work with the team of snowboarders they know and get a beautiful native app developed and get it out quite quickly. But we think large organizations who have 5 or 10 or 20 or 100 apps will probably get the cheapest cost of ownership and the fastest time to market with a platform where you get maximum reuse of code and you can share all the APIs and your common interfaces. And what it might look like without a platform in an organization where you have many apps is we have a kind of a spaghetti soup going on. So if we change one thing, we probably have to change many things and do a lot of regression testing. Whereas when we put in a platform, we essentially buffer the high rate of change that's happening in mobile devices, mobile operating systems, and the slow rate of change that happens in your backend systems. Because your backend system decisions will generally be 10, 20, 30-year decisions. Mobile device decisions are extremely short. And so interfacing those two together without spending your day regression testing, Scotty, is what you're going to get from a good platform. And a platform should give you a whole lot of capabilities way below the presentation layer, which the user will see. So it should give you the ability to do all your forms and apps in full offline mode, because we will have lots of people out of coverage. We should get predefined integration points. We should be able to get push notifications coming to our device with alerts of status or badges and all that. And most importantly, we should get a separate development, test, and production environment. So we can essentially have a production line of apps going through the different phases of lifecycle management. The second consideration on that enable layer is who is going to do the work. And what we see in large organizations is that we'll see a blended team of skills, right from analysis to design, architecture, development, testing, deployment out to users. And we think that team will change very quickly. And I've used different colors here to illustrate that. Black might be your internal people. Blue might be a partner. And red is yet another partner, a specialist who does deep integration, will develop an API or a connector or adapter if we need to get into a backend system that's not currently exposed to mobile devices. But what will quickly happen is we'll go from a largely outsourced team to an in-sourced team. And some of those boxes have moved to black. They're your people, you've brought them in. It's now your team in-house. And very quickly, it will become almost all black and become embedded. So we believe you go from outsourced to in-sourced to embedded. And that embedded team will not be a separate team for mobile apps. It'll be part of your core applications team. So large organizations will simply pull mobility into their core applications team, and the skills needed for mobility will become core skills because you will move to a more mobile-first way of thinking. So we think that logical evolution from outsource to in-source to embed is how the leading organizations will tackle large-scale mobility.